back to my channel. So we're going to be working on a new project, and for this project I'm using this off-white or cream color of yarn, and I'm using the acrylic yarn in medium weight, but I'm going to double up the strands because I want it to be a little bit thick. So this is acrylic yarn. I'm going to double up the strands, and this is what we're using for our project. And for the hook, I'm using the 4mm hook. I'm using the 4mm hook for this project. You're going to need your scissors to cut your yarn, and you need a darning needle to weave in the ends when you're done with your project, and we just need a stitch marker. So go ahead, get your materials, your tools ready, and we are going to begin the project. Okay, so for this project I'm making a size small, which is my size, and yeah, we're going to start with a slip knot like so, and we're going to chain up to the size of our hip. So this capri short is actually a low-waisted one, not a high-waisted one, so I do not necessarily need my waist measurement. I just need my hip measurements, because yeah, like I said, it's a low-waisted capri short, not the high-waisted one. So yeah, it's not going to go up the way up to, you know, my waist. It's just going to be a little bit, you know, low-waisted. You know what I'm saying? No, low-waisted. So I'm going to chain up to my hip measurements. When stretched, it's good. So whatever hip measurement you're doing, you want to go ahead and chain up to that. So I'm working with a hip measurement of 37. So we are going to bring out our tape roll, and then we are going to, you know, measure. And I'm just going to stretch. Do not stretch it too much, okay? Just a little bit of stretch, and we're gonna see. I know you cannot see the whole of my frame, but this is the end of the chain we just made, and you can see it is 37. Like I said, do not overly stretch it, okay? Do not overly stretch. So once you get your exact hip measurements, we're going to close this up, okay? So take the other hand, so we're going to close this with a slip stitch. So now we have, you know, a circle. So this is what we're going to be working with, okay? So now we're going to chain 2. This chain 2 does not count as a stitch. This is just a foundation chain for us to begin another row, so it does not count as a stitch. Chain 2, we're going to turn over, and we're working at the back of the chain, okay? This is the front of the chain. Okay, so and we're working with double crochets. Okay, so into the first chain space you work in your double crochet, into the next you work another double crochet, into the next you work another double crochet. So you just want to work a double crochet into every chain, and yeah, I'll meet you back at the end. Don't worry about this, we're going to weave it in. Just finished the end of the row, and now we're going to slip stitch on top of the, maybe not right on top, I mean the chain 2, the space between the chain 2 right here. We're going to slip stitch to join our row. But before you slip stitch, you want to make sure that your work is properly aligned, because if you slip stitch the wrong way, you're going to have problems. You can see it's not going to be, you know, in order. So you want to make sure you are slip stitching, make sure you arrange it, and make sure it is, you know, properly arranged, and then you slip stitch, okay? So yeah, now I'm going to slip stitch, like I said, into the space After the chain 2, we're going to turn our work and we're going to continue for row 2. So I'm going to place into the first crochet into the first stitch and then into the second stitch. The project is quite simple because most of the chain we are working mostly with double crochet. Okay, so just go ahead and work in one double crochet into each stitch, and I'll meet you at the end of row 2. So double crochet into every stitch, and I'm working with a size small, which is a size 6. So I'm going to work this until I get up to 7 inches. So if you're working with a size 8, you want to increase up to 8 inches. If you're working with a size 10, increase up to 9 inches. Just keep increasing according to the size you are working on. So I'm going to keep repeating this until I get up to 7 inches, and I'm going to meet you guys at the end. Okay, so I'm done, and this measures about 7 inches. So, and we're going to measure this. Okay, so this is about 7.5 inches, so almost 8 inches. And I did about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 rows of this. So if you're working for a size small, which is size 6, you might want to go ahead and do this. So 16 rows of this. And now we are going to count this. So what you want to do is count on either side. Make sure you have the same number of stitches on this side and you have the same number of stitches on this side, and we're going to connect in the middle. So go ahead and count your full stitches and then divide it into 2 and mark the middle. Okay, so for me, my total stitch is 124 stitches. So divided by 2, I have 62 stitches on either side. I've gone ahead to mark the middle of it. So on this side I have 62 stitches, and on this side I have 62 stitches as well. Okay, so we are going to chain up 16. Now if you're working for a size 8, a size 10, you want to chain up 18, and if you're working for a size 12, chain up 20, and so on and so forth. Okay, so for a size 6, we're going to chain up 16. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And so I'm going to connect it to be able to place a stitch marker, and I'm going to close that up with a slip stitch, and I'm going to knot it off with a chain 1 so it is secure. So I'm going to cut off the yarn. So now that this is secured, we're going to start in the middle. Okay, so we have to work this way. So turn it over, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 into the 8th stitch. Remember, 16 divided by 2, you get 8. So into the middle 8. There we're going to insert our yarn with a slip stitch like so. Chain up 2. Remember, chain 2 doesn't count as any stitch, it's just a foundation chain. Turn our work, and then into that same stitch we're going to apply a double crochet. I'm going to work this in. I'm going to weave the ends of this in as I walk. So like I said, into that same stitch a double crochet, and into the next another double crochet. So we're doing the same thing we've been doing, double crochet into each stitch, and you want to keep doing this until you get back to this point. And yeah, I'll meet you guys at the end of this row. So I'm almost done with this round. This is the last stitch. that I'm working in. So the last chain that I'm working in, and I'm going to close like we always do, like so. Chain 2, turn our work. You can take off our stitch marker now, you don't need it anymore. Then just take that off, and now you want to keep repeating this process, this round. So chain up 2, turn your work, begin, and you just continue and keep working in more rounds, and I will meet you guys. Okay, so I just made 4 rows of this. 1, 2, 3, 4. I just made 4 rows, and now we're going to do something different because we're making a capri shorts. Okay, capri pants, sorry, we're making a capri pants. So we want, you know, to make the bottom of it a little bit slimmer, so we're going to start decreasing. Okay, so we're going to start decreasing. Chain up 2. So I'm not decreasing in the beginning of it, I'm going to decrease only at the end. So I'm going to start row 5, put 1 double crochet into every stitch, and when we get to the end I will show you what to do. Okay, so I'm almost at the end of row 5. So I have 2 stitches left. And we're going to make a decrease. So to make a decrease, we're going to yarn over, pull through, and pull through 1 loop. We're not going to pull through the last 2 loops. We're going to yarn over and go into the next stitch, pull through 2, and pull through all 3. So we just made a decrease, and we're going to close our work. Chain up 2. So we want to keep repeating this decrease. So we don't decrease at the beginning of the row, we only decrease at the end of the row. So making the last 2 stitches at the end of the row into 1 stitch. So we're going to keep repeating this until we get our desired length of the short. So I'm going to keep doing this, you keep doing your own, and yeah, I'll meet you guys later. So I made the decrease up to the length, and I have 24 inches in total. So remember, we started decreasing from row 5, so I have a decreased roll of 20. Okay, so this is the length that I want, so go ahead and do up to your desired length. So for me, in total on one leg I have 24 rows. Okay, so I'm done with the other leg of the pants, and we're going to count so we know how many rows we have for the pants, for the leg of the pants. So 1, 2, 3, that's 3. And this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So I have 24 on both sides. I went ahead and did the head of the pants. I did this little shell thing, and I'm going to show you guys how I did that. So you want to go ahead and switch up your yarn color. I don't know, whichever yarn color you're going to use, go ahead and switch that up. I'm using pink for mine, and yeah, so I'm going to attach my yarn. This is where I ended my row. So I ended my row, sorry, I ended my row right here. So I'm going to attach my yarn, and that's it. I'm going to chain 1, turn my work. I'm going to try to work this in, so I'm just going to try to weave this in as I work. Chain 1, and now we're going to work 1 single crochet into every stitch. So I'm working 1 single crochet into every stitch, and just keep doing that, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. So I'm at the end of my row. I'm just gonna put in the last one, and I'm going to slip stitch right into that chain one space, and I'm going to chain up one again, but this time we're going to do something different because we're about to start creating our shell stitches. I'm going to chain up one, and into the first stitch there I'm going to do a single crochet. I'm going to skip 2 stitches, and into the third chain I'm going to make my shell stitch. Okay, skip 2 into the third chain. I'm going to make my shell stitch, which is 2 double crochet, double crochet, chain up 2, and make another 2 double crochet into the same stitch. There you have it. Okay, I'm going to skip 2 into the third. I'm going to make a slip stitch like that. And into the next chain I'm going to make a single crochet. Now I'm going to skip 2 into the third chain. I'm going to make another shell stitch, 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, all into the same stitch. Now I'm going to skip 2 stitches into the third. I'm going to make a slip stitch. I'm going to make a single crochet into the next stitch. I'm going to skip 2 into the third. I'm going to make another shell. So this is what we're going to be repeating. Okay, so we're going to make our shell stitch all the way around, and I'm going to make the other hand. So this is the finished project. I went ahead and I did a single crochet using the pink colored yarn all around the waistline. So I just did a single crochet around the waistline, and I used a velvet yarn to create strings. So you can just create any string according to the length you want. It depends on you. That's just it. And I just, put it around my waist to tie on each side of my waist. So you can use whichever yarn you want for this process. Also, the string is optional. You can, decide to do a string, you can decide not to, but I just wanted to do it because it just gave the capri pants a unique look. So you can use a velvet yarn to create it. You can use an icicle yarn, a bouquet, whatever kind of yarn you want to use for the strings around the waist. So this is the finished look, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next tutorial. Bye.